station is Acton Town.
Oh, hello again, thanks for dropping by. This is the second part of our visit to the London Transport Museum, Acton Depot. In the first video we concentrated on the rail vehicles in the Acton Depot, but that's only a part of the fantastic collection at the site. The depot is also home to road vehicles which have served London over the years, many of which are maintained in operating condition with the help of the London Transport Museum friends. Starting with the previous steel wheel on steel rail theme, this is an example of the London County Council E1 double-deck tram from 1910. London County Council had one of the world's largest tram networks from 1900. This vehicle ran until 1952, when London said farewell, for now, to its trams. As originally built, the motorman drove from an open platform, but a windscreen was added in 1920. They never did receive a seat though. Next, built at Feltham, Middlesex, these were the last batch of trams constructed for London use. They entered service in 1931. At just over 40 feet long, these trams accommodated 64 passengers and initially had 2 sliding air doors, an advanced feature for the time. Car 355 entered service at Finchley in 1931 with the MET company. It later became LT2099 and then with others was sold to Leeds Corporation in 1949. It was withdrawn in 1959 and has been restored to its original livery. In the 1930s, London United Tramways were faced with an expensive replacement and repair programme of their tram network. Their solution? Trolleybuses. Here's an A1 from 1931. The last left service in May 1962. Known as diddlers, but for unclear reasons. One suggestion was they weaved or diddled across the road, another that passengers felt diddled when a trolleybus turned up instead of a tram. Well, you can make your own minds up on that. After the Second World War, many diddlers had been destroyed, so London Transport introduced the Q1 class to replace them. Many were sold to Spain when the trolleybuses were phased out. Motorbuses appeared in 1910. Starting with the B-type. This was the first mass-produced bus, built by AEC in Walthamstow. This particular example was built in 1911. After the First World War, London found itself short of buses. The K-type was introduced in 1919, with capacity for 46 rather than 34 of the B-type. Once again, AEC in Walthamstow were the manufacturer. The NS-type from 1923 started as an open-deck bus, apparently seen as a safety feature at the time. It had a low centre of gravity, leading to its name, the no-step. NS1995 dates from 1926. May I introduce you to the scooter, as crews named it, or the LT-type single-decker from 1931. These were used on suburban and hilly routes. LT1076 has been restored to full working order. I just love the Guy Special or GS type from 1953. These serve with London Country, this particular bus being based at Amersham. Next to it is the bus it replaced, the Leyland Cub. They had diesel engines and pneumatic doors. Originally they were used in both the central and country areas, but the last examples were worked solely in the country area. Next on the right is the TF type, Leyland Single Deck, jointly developed by Leyland Motors and London Transport. It appeared in 1939 for the Green Line and private hire fleets. And finally, the Q-type AEC single deck. The engine was mounted upright behind the driver, and the bodywork was far ahead of its time. Designed in 1932, Q55 entered service in 1935, working most of its time from Swanley Garage and being withdrawn in 1953. Okay, hands up if you don't know what this bus is. Really? RM1 was the first of 4 prototypes for the Routemaster. It made its first public appearance in 1954 at the Earls Court Motor Show. And before entering service, it underwent extensive testing, including skids at 30 miles an hour and a tilt test to at least 28 degrees. In 1956, it was trialled on Route 2 between Golders Green and Crystal Palace. The Acton Depot has another Routemaster prototype, the RM2. This was the second prototype, originally with a 7.7 litre engine rather than the 9.6 litre engine of RM1 and the subsequent production models. The smaller engine proved to be a bad idea, so in 1955 the front end was rebuilt to take the larger engine which was installed. With all of the ecological considerations today, we're looking at battery and hybrid options to power our transport. But it seems this idea isn't something new. Tucked away in the Acton Depot is a petrol-electric bus chassis dating back to 1921. It was developed from a 1908 design by W.A. Stevens and Thomas Tilling, a South London bus operator, as the transmission was thought to be easier for horse bus drivers to learn. What I particularly enjoyed about the museum depot was not only the diverse collection of complete vehicles, but also the vast range of parts and equipment that had somehow been saved over the years, and they're now placed on display. There were items you just often wouldn't even think about as anything that needed to be preserved. But this is a living and working preservation centre, with paid staff and volunteers working together to keep the heritage of London's transport history alive and available to view for all of us. Just take a look at this array of bus engines, all carefully stored and ready to be installed if required in the multitude of vehicles at the museum. We noted engines from Gardner, Leyland, Dennis, Vulcan, Perkins, indeed an incredible variety of past and present motors from engine manufacturers just lined up here for visitors to enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this flavour of the London Transport Museum Acton Depot. Keep an eye on their website for information about open days and depot guided tours. It is well worth a visit. Thank you very much for watching. I do look forward to seeing you back again soon.